Thank you for joining my presentation. My name is Okubura Junichi. I'm a teacher of social studies at junior high school in Nagasaki City. Today, I talk about reason despite English education and the improvement of junior high school teachers in proficiency. I understand the reality of not only junior high students in proficiency, but also junior high school teachers proficiency, and some parents who are interested in English education are dissatisfied with junior teachers proficiency in the prefecture. I know that there are a lot of students who have to give up university of their choice because the English score did not improve the university entrance examination. On the other hand, Japan's Ministry of Education said Japan should aim at the top nation of English proficiency in Asia. To be sure, compared with students in other non-English speaking nations, Japanese students who won't be able to use English actually are too few opportunities to touch English. But English time may be paying for students and junior teachers who are not good at English. That's the dilemma in Japan. In the first place, how can junior teacher proficiency, that is below elementary school students in proficiency in EX British nations, raise only students who want to improve English to the top nation of English proficiency in Asia, as the Japan's Ministry of Education requires? Nobody can indicate the way of getting there. But it's obviously to everyone. Only English education of school cannot raise students who are good at English. So we need to provide useful information and tools to students who want to improve their English proficiency except for English classes. Japan's ranking TOEIC score in 2021 was 31st out of 45 countries and areas. I think it's important to take care of students who are not good at English, but simultaneously it's important to develop students who are good at English, considering the situation that the lack of English speaking person undermines national interest politically, economically, diplomatically. I'm asked not only from domestic people, but also foreign people so many times, why did you make a decision to study English? That's why I thought it's strange. The English teachers of junior teachers who criticize other teachers' classes severely not only cannot speak English, but also cannot read and write English sentences at all, beyond the level of junior high school textbooks. And I thought, it's strange. English teachers sometimes cannot answer students' easy questions and teach students long English sentences in English-based sentences. It's a sign that the English leaders who advocate improving students' English proficiency have very low English proficiency. And why is such a situation remained? Nobody notices. In other prefecture, a high school prefecture dismissed due to the lack of his math ability. On the other hand, in a prefecture, the English leaders of junior high teachers who lack the English proficiency find fault with not only other English teachers' classes, but also service teachers' classes with arrogant attitudes. I lost my hope at junior high school English education because I had a child who learned elementary school at that time. Unlike the big cities with limited options, we had to face serious situation of how to improve English education for our children. Teenagers in other non-English speaking nations read newspapers in English, watch movies without subtitles, and have a discussion in English. On the other hand, in a prefecture, the English leaders of junior teachers who are poor at English and are arrogant. Because English leaders in proficiency is poor, a lot of junior teachers don't care what they cannot speak, listen, read, and write English. Because there is no person who is good at English in close at hand, they are deprived the opportunity to improve their proficiency. I made sure the severe situation of English education in our prefecture in 2012 and 2013. I began to use English since October 1st in 2014 to change such a deteriorating situation. Thinking with common sense, it doesn't make sense to ask students to improve their English proficiency without English teachers in proficiency. There is a phrase that often spoken by junior high teachers in the prefecture. Persons who are good at English and persons who can teach English are different. But I don't agree with this point of view because how can English teachers who don't know how to improve their own English develop students who are good at English or want to improve English? If the method of teaching English is good, but it doesn't mean junior high school teachers in proficiency is not problem. It's not persuasive. Of course, we understand junior high school English teachers are not English professionals, but at least English teachers need to live up to the level of English proficiency as the Japan's Ministry of Education requires. Of course, we don't ask junior high teachers to have the same level of English proficiency as Chinese junior high school students. But at least the English leaders of junior high teachers should have the same level of English proficiency as Japanese excellent high school students. If junior high teachers cannot reach the English level required by the government, of course, students will not reach that level. Unless junior teachers in a prefecture improve their English proficiency, they remain to be named not only to have a discussion but to gain reliance from parents with strong interest in English education. In a prefecture, junior high teachers pretend to be able to speak English, but in reality, they cannot communicate with their relatives in English. Even though ALT salary is not cheap, but junior high teachers cannot use ALT to conduct effective English classes at all. What they have ALT do is simply to pronounce words and play games. Other than that is to check students' homework note. There are a lot of days ALTs only sit in the chairs in teacher's room and do nothing all day without being informed anything. And I have also seen ALTs who feel isolated and mentally depressed because junior high teachers don't have the ability to have a conversation in English with the ALTs. In the prefecture, junior high teachers cannot read newspapers and books in English. Their ability to write English sentences remain very limited, and they cannot also correct English sentences with students who won't take part in speech contest. Is such a situation normal to general public, except for junior high teachers' criteria in the prefecture? According to recent survey, students' English proficiency is related to teachers' English proficiency. As we can see from the statistics of the Japan's Ministry of Education, prefectures with higher level in teachers' proficiency, like Tokyo, Toyama, Fukui, have a higher level of students' proficiency. On the other hand, prefectures with lower level in teachers' proficiency have lower level of students' in proficiency. The Japan's Ministry of Education shows there is a high school prefecture with about 86.3% of teachers who can reach English level required by the government. On the other hand, junior high prefecture with only 13.3%. I've never seen such statistics with a big disparity. That is, there are some pictures of disparate situation in English education. Just like this, it might say, English teachers in proficiency is related to English leaders in proficiency. English teachers in proficiency has a great influence not only on students in proficiency, but also their future mindset and initiative for English. Actually, in the prefecture, the pass rate of difficult university in Tokyo, where English is important in general entrance examinations, is very strict. In addition, after entering university, English performance is not good as expected. A high school English teacher said to me, unless junior teachers can give students English proficiency in some degree before they enter high school, we cannot get them to the level of university entrance examination. But actually, at junior high school, the level of students varies greatly, being different from high school. Moreover, junior high teachers who must provide compulsory education to are very hard, of course, I understand. But simultaneously, it's true that there is no environment, no system, and no human resource to develop students who are good at English and want to improve English. If the government leaves it for its perfection, junior high teachers, regional disparity of English education will be only widened. It's a serious problem, especially for parents with strong interest in English education. Personally, I think, unfortunately, no effective resolution to this problem if the government doesn't take the lead, just like the bank of the physical punishment. Furthermore, there is no leniency to use English. What is the social climate that kills people who want to study English? One day, I tried a learning method called CLEAR, that integrates subject learning and English learning in history class according to the actual situation of students. CLEAR is the abbreviation of the content and language integrated learning. This is an educational method that emphasizes understanding of learning topics such as mathematics, history, environmental issues, and racial issues, and that positions English as a tool for that purpose. Before I make class plan and I start the class, principal of another junior high school came all the way and warned me. Social studies teachers should not use English. This story is not during the Pacific War, but in the 21st century. As I said, I'm a teacher of social studies at junior high school. When I make education materials about history from Japanese newspapers or papers in Japanese, of course no teacher criticizes me. On the other hand, when I make education materials about history from English newspapers or papers in English, I'm sought to study English in working hours, or when I do something using English, especially junior high school teachers look disgusting. It's ridiculous. It's just only difference of tool between Japanese and English. English is the most useful tool to make education materials not only about history, but also geography, geology, physics, science, chemistry, current topics, and so on. That's why documents and papers in English have a huge accumulation than those written in any other language. It's matter, of course. But unfortunately, most teachers, including English teachers, are convinced English is to study in English classes and in the textbooks unconsciously. It's just like literal Japanese translation of Chinese poetry in Japan over 1,000 years. Nobody believes English is to use in our daily life. English is not something special. In other non-English-speaking nations, for example, mathematics, history are taught in English, especially in Asian nations that was former British territories, because terms such as carbon dioxide, chloroplast, diabetes, myocardial infarction, capitalism, democracy, and parliament are not in their own language. So if they want to receive a higher education, they have to be educated in English. That is the language of the former Soviet nation. A higher score of TOEIC is required in very heavy competitive meritocracy of South Korea, as you know. So South Korea elementary school 6th grade English textbooks is at the level of Japanese junior high 3rd grade English textbooks. On the other hand, in Japan, there is no environment, no need to use English. So we need to create the atmosphere that the students can experience English as much as possible. Even in Japan, there are some areas and schools that incorporate English into as subject and educational activities. If we think only Japan, why do junior high school and the students higher level English processing, even though there are so many people in Tokyo? Why do junior high school and students in geographically disadvantaged Hokuriku have higher level English processing? And why do junior high teacher students in the prefecture have the lowest English ability in Kyushu? The more closed and backward society, the newer attempt and idea appear to be heretical. Just like Galileo Galilei, who advocated heliocentric theory in medieval Europe, was persecuted. When the Beatles came to Japan for the first time in 1966, school asked the students not to go to their concert. But now, as you know, they are English and music textbooks, music in textbooks. In the globalized side, it's a closed idea that the use of English by people as English teachers violates the domain of junior teachers and students' English processing. English is not the aim. It's just only tool of communication. So it's stupid the organization excludes or is not welcome to persons who are good at English or try to adopt English in their subjects. I can't help but realize there are big disparities between teenagers English processing in other non-English speaking nations and junior high teachers English processing in the prefecture, society, and school. High school English teachers English processing and junior high teachers English processing. Advanced prefectures of English education under prefecture. In other words, English processing depends on birthplace or birthplace. Unfortunately, I have to say, such a situation is English education crisis. I want to change such a interrelated situation. So this is the reason why I make use of English and I'm standing here now. To promote the students' English proficiency, firstly, it needs to improve English teachers' English proficiency. Of course, it's needless to say. Secondly, it needs to change teachers' consciousness and to eliminate teacher prejudice against English. The English leaders who lack of English proficiency and are arrogant lead to the decline of English education and English teachers' quality. And such a leader not only invites mutual distrust but also deprives the aspiration and the creativity of the teachers. In other words, bad money drives out good money. The most necessary thing above all, prefecture and city need to improve junior high school teachers in proficiency from junior high school students in proficiency to the English proficiency required by the government. Especially the promotion of English proficiency of English principals or English leaders of Board of Education at least to the minimum level of English proficiency as English teacher. The minimum level of English proficiency required by the government for English teachers is the 18th grade P1 and TOEIC 730 scores more. The number of people to be hired for the English teachers employment examination is decided from the beginning. If the level of examination is low, the magnification doesn't matter at all. In as well as in the prefecture, the English teachers employment examination is not an exam to prove the English proficiency. That's why English teachers need to get the 18th grade P1. 18th grade P1 is a level that high school students who are good at English can pass. Prefecture Board of Education states that people who have not obtained 18th grade P1 are not qualified to be English teachers. The 18th exam 40 times a year. In addition, English teachers are exempt from expensive examination fee. It's not convincing that English leaders urge students and English teachers to take exam. It's not taking exam. Therefore, not taking exam because you are busy or you don't have time to study English is not an excuse. Prefecture and city that cannot improve even a small number of English leaders in proficiency, of course cannot improve a great number of students in English proficiency. Japan is the only nation in the world where English teachers and persons who are good at English are not always much. As a concrete measure that should be done immediately, English teachers who do not have English proficiency required by the government are obliged to take short courses twice a year, for example, during summer vacation. And they need to interact with not only elementary school teachers, but also high school English teachers, university students, and business persons who are good at English. And they need to be aware of the situation. And they need to judge by comparing themselves with others. Of course, it's impossible to improve their English proficiency drastically, but it's possible to put pressure on them until they can reach the English level required by the government. The Japan's Ministry of Education should not leave English teachers to improve their English proficiency, but should put them in a system to improve their English proficiency. Maybe junior high school teacher dissatisfaction will explode, especially prefecture where junior high school teachers is low. But such a situation will change. When the short courses become established and the percentage of teachers who can reach the English level required by the government exceed 50% more. English teachers are negative against the English education reform, which requires English proficiency and potential resistance to the English education reform. I expect that the principal of a subject other than English can play an important role in the promotion of English education and raising awareness. If the principal of a subject other than English encourages the importance of English education and the use of English, I think it's more effective and more persuasive because it's a different subject, and it will eliminate the atmosphere that try to exclude the people who use English as English teachers and spread the importance of English education. Another most important thing in a prefecture for English education is to consider the way to attract human resources with sufficient English proficiency. In recent years, the low ability of students to speak English has become a problem. But there is no way that the students will be able to speak English if junior high school English teachers cannot speak, listen, read, and write English. No matter how much the government and the prefecture do something, nothing will change unless junior high school teachers can change. This presentation will be posted on the internet with Japanese subtitles. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Is there any question or opinion?
I work at the Gifu University, but I used to be a teacher of junior high school and elementary school in Saitama Prefecture. Yes.
Oh.
And I often give a lecture to elementary school teachers, and they always say, I am not good at English, and how do I study to improve my English? So if you were me, and if you were asked that kind of question, how do you give them an advice to study English for elementary school teachers?
Thank you for asking. And I think it's almost Japanese school, and students teachers think highly of grammatical structure. But I think it's the most important thing, and we should establish the atmosphere, and the atmosphere that the students can access easily and enjoyable. And for example, except for English classes, especially English teachers provide good information and good tool. For example, in recent years, we can use the internet with personal computer, and in such internet, there are a lot of attractive education materials. So I think we have provided a lot of attractive education tools to students. I think so.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And also, your English is so great. And how did you study English?
Yeah. Thank you.
And
Thank
when
you.
did you start studying English?
And when I start English, and over 50 years old. So, and I think to study English is not to study. I think that to study English is to have fun. And for example, and I memorize a lot of the vocabularies, and I make a point of reading newspapers, for example, New York Times and Time and Voice of America every single day. And I try to have a conversation in English with foreigners. Yes. And not only LT, and in my cities there is a bar by New Zealanders. And so, and I make a habit of going to that bar to have a conversation in English. That it's such a situation promote my English skill. I think so.
And also, you have taught that the teachers are very busy with studying English. So how do you make time to study English?
And for example, and especially I don't make the time to study English. And for example, it's only watching CNN. And instead of reading Japanese newspapers, I make a habit of reading newspapers in English. As I said, the New York Times, and Voice of America, and Washington Post, and so on, every single day.
I see. And I think you like studying English, right?
Right.
Right. And you are enjoying.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Yes, and I think it's to study English. It's the most important thing to study English is enjoy. Enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much.
I want to watch your lesson after junior high school.
Thank you very much.